Hello students. So students, in the previous class in the chapter that is life process, we were talking about the nutrition in humans. And in this chapter, we had discussed that how the nutrition used to take place in the human beings, and we were talking about that of the digestion process. If we see in case of a digestion, so basically digestion involves the process in which the food first of all enter into the mouth. It will be undergoes the physical digestion with the help of our teeth, tongue, and that of the saliva help in help in that of the chemical digestion also inside the buccal cavity or in our buccal cavity. Okay, now this food will enter into the esophagus, which is also called as the food pipe. Okay, so from there it will enter into the food pipe, and from the food pipe it will enter into a J-shaped structure that is called as our stomach. Now this J-shaped structure, our stomach, basically consisting of the lining is consisting of the digestive juices, and these digestive juices consisting or they are basically HCl, mucus, or that of the pepsin. The role of the HCl that it help in making the medium acidic. Okay, and if it will be acidic, only then the pepsin will work on it. Work on that of the protein. Now the lining is covered with the mucus in order that the HCl, which is acidic, it will not going to harm that of the wall of the stomach. So it will help in protecting the erosion which can be caused by that of the HCl. Now from the stomach, here the digestion of, we can say the partial digestion of the protein happens. Now from there, it will enter into that of the small intestine, and this small intestine means when it come from the stomach to small intestine, here a muscle is there which is called as sphincter muscle, which used to regulate the entry of the food from the stomach to that of the small intestine. Now food had entered into the small intestine, and here in the small intestine there are two glands, that is bile and that of the pancreas, which used to release the secretion. They used to secrete the juices, the enzymes, and that is if we talk about the liver used to release the bile, and bile juice is the that one which help in the digestion of the fats. So it's basically work on fats and help in converting or help in the digestion of the fats in and this process is called as the emulsification. Now, not only this, but there are the pancreatic juices are also there, and these pancreatic juices like trypsin is there, and then amylase is there, and as well as lipase is there, which help in the digestion of protein, help in the digestion of fats, help in the digestion of amylase. So basically these juices which is released by liver and that of the pancreas in the small intestine. Now one more role of the bile is that it helps in making the medium alkaline, because the food has entered from the acidic medium. So at first it have to be converted into the normal medium, into the alkaline medium, and this will be carried out by the bile juice. So bile used to convert the medium from acidic to alkaline medium, and then it work on the fat present in the food and convert and do the process of emulsification, and then the pancreatic juice will work and help in the digestion of these food material. Now in the small intestine itself, the intestinal juices, they are helping in complete digestion of the food. Like that of the protein get converted into amino acid, then fats is there on which lipase work, that will help in converting it into fatty acid and glycerol. Fatty acid and glycerol, and carbohydrate is also there. Now this carbohydrate will help in converting the carbohydrate into its monomeric form, and that is called as glucose. So we can say protein, fats, carbohydrate, these all get converted into the water soluble. These are the complex insoluble substances which after digestion becomes a soluble substances. This complete digestion, this happens in that of the small intestine. So this is all about that of the digestion. Now we will try to understand the next step, and that is absorption, then assimilation, and finally egestion process. So if we talk about the absorption, in case of the absorption, students, what happened here? The water soluble, the soluble molecule from that of the intestinal wall starts entering into the bloodstream. So we can write it that intestine is the main reason intestine is the main reason for complete digestion, and here what happened? Villi is present. Villi, you can say villi, that will help. It's a kind of a hair like a projection present at the wall of the intestine, and its role that it used to make the movement of the food from the intestinal wall to that of the bloodstream. Okay. So we can write here that the inner surface of the intestine consisting of hair-like growth called villi. That is called as villi, and this helps in increasing the surface area. This will help in increasing the surface area for what? For large absorption of the food. For large absorption of the food. Okay, so we can say that intestine, it is the main reason for digestion, and here the inner surface of the intestine basically is consisting of a hair-like growth is there, which is called villi, and this will help in increasing the surface area, and that will also help in absorption, large absorption of the food occur here. So this is the whole method for the absorption of the food. When the absorption occurs, this small intestine basically consisting of the blood capillaries. So we can say that from that intestinal wall, the food enters into the blood capillaries. Then the process of assimilation can take place. So we can write the next one, and that is assimilation. In case of the assimilation, here now the blood is carrying the digested food to respective cells, to all the cells which is present in the body, and the cells used to take the food from the blood and they undergo the process of oxidation, and then the breakdown of the food happened, which helped in releasing the energy. So we can write it that blood carries the digested food, carries the digested food, and this digested food will enter into the cell, and it will enter into the cell, and there oxidation of food occurs. Oxidation of food occurs, which is also called as the assimilation of the food happens, and due to this oxidation of food, due to this release of energy occurs. So this is about the assimilation here, students, in which the absorbed food from the blood capillaries, from the blood itself, it will enter into the different cells present in the body, and the cell, they used to absorb the glucose, they used to absorb the monomer of the food and work on it, and due to which we get energy. Okay, so this is the process that is called as the assimilation also. Now if we go to the last topic and last step of this hologenetic mode of nutrition that happen in the human being is egestion process. That is egestion. What happened in case of a egestion method? Here, there are some of the food which remain undigested, which we call as the unwanted or the waste food, and they should remove from the body, otherwise they will cause harm to the body, and the process by which this food removed, that is called as the egestion one. So basically what happened, the undigested food from the small intestine entered into the large intestine. The role that is of the large intestine, it will not going to provide any kind of enzyme, but if excess amount of water is present, that will be absorbed in the large intestine. Now the food is what is a kind of a solid waste that will come out through that of the rectum. Okay. So we will write here that the unwanted or undigested food enters into the large intestine, and if excess water is present, then water water absorption takes place in large intestine. In large intestine. In large intestine. Okay. Then what happened? This solid undigested food is stored in rectum. Is stored in rectum and discharged from the body outside. Okay, so this food will enter into the large intestine, and the role of the large intestine is, if excess amount of water is present, that will be absorbed there. Now it becomes a solid waste product, solid waste food. So from there it will be stored in the rectum, and from time to time it will get removed from the body. So this is the last step of this holozoic mode of nutrition. It is important, student, because most of the questions related to the digestive system, related to the holozoic nutrition in human as well as in amoeba will ask in the question in the paper. Okay, so this is about the nutrition, how nutrition used to take place in the human being. Moving on, and let me tell you one more thing about, which is you can say is a part of the nutrition only, which is our mouth. So our mouth consisting of teeth. So we will discuss about dental caries also. Dental caries. Dental caries. So if we discuss about the dental caries, before that we should know about our teeth. Sorry, students. So basically what happened, our tooth, the outer cover of the tooth is consisting of enamel, which is a very strong covering, student. So the hard outer covering, that is called as enamel, and it is the hardest substance which is present in our body. And inside to that of the enamel, we can say a thing which is made up of a calcium salt, which is called dentine. It is like a bone, and this dentine, inside the dentine, nerves and the blood vessels are present. Okay, so this is the basic structure of that of the teeth. Now what happened? How if our enamel is there is to protect the tooth from any kind of a harm, from any kind of a bacteria to harm it. So basically, when a bacteria set up, or the bacteria which enters into our mouth, then this produces acid, and because of the production of the acid, it used to dissolve the calcium salt by which the enamel is made up of. Now not only this, but the calcium of that of the dentine. So calcium is removed, and the dentine, due to which what happened, the enamel, the coating of the enamel get dissolved, and even the dentine, there is a hole in the dentine which makes the distance between that of the outer to that of the blood vessels very less. So that will make our tooth very sensitive. So this all happens because of the production of the acid which is done by the bacteria, and it is done when we used to eat the food and do not brush it regularly. So brushing the teeth will help in removing the plaque from the teeth, and also it will prevent the bacteria to produce acid and causes dental caries to us. Okay, so we will write here few things, and that is the first thing about we should know about the teeth, and that is the outer covering, that is the hard outer covering called enamel, that is called as enamel. Okay, that is called as enamel. Just below to that of the enamel is the dentine. Okay, so we can say the part of the tooth below it, of the tooth below enamel is dentine. Okay, below enamel is dentine, and inside the dentine is the pulp cavity, which consisting of the nerves and the blood vessels. Okay, so inside the dentine, pulp cavity is there. Okay, pulp cavity. Inside the dentine, pulp cavity is there. Cavity is there, consisting of blood and nerves, which consisting of the blood vessels and nerves. Now here, if we discuss this is all about that of the teeth. So when you look at the teeth, the structure of the teeth is the outer covering. The hard outer covering is called the enamel, which is the hardest substance of our body. Then just below to that of the hardest substance, there is a dentine present, which is just like a bone. And finally pulpy cavity is there, which consisting of the nerves and that of the blood vessels in it. Now if we discuss or if we define that of the dental caries, so dental caries is what, student? This is dental caries is the formation of small cavities. The formation of small cavities. The formation of a small cavities in the teeth due to the action of bacteria, due to the action of acid forming bacteria. Due to the action of acid forming bacteria and improper dental care. Improper dental care, that is called as the dental caries. So let us see that how this dental caries are formed. Okay, so if we discuss, so the first point in case of the dental caries, that especially you see students that this happen when we eat a sugary product or when we eat the sugar. So when we eat sugary product, when we eat sugary product, the bacteria in our mouth, the bacteria in our mouth act on the sugar. Act sugar, and as a result there is a formation of a acid happen. Forms acid. This acid dissolves the calcium salt. Calcium salts present on the enamel as well as dentin. Okay, so due to which this reduces the distance between the pulp cavity and outside. Pulp cavity and outside. So this will help in removing the distance between that of the pulp cavity and outside. Now this is how the dental caries happen. There is another term also which is called as dental plaque, and it is caused when we eat food, or we can say that when there is a formation of a layer of a yellow and a sticky substance on that of the food, due to which our teeth is not able to alkaline the medium of the acid which is formed by that of the bacteria. This will cause as a dental plaque. So what is the thing that with the help of which we can remove the dental plaque? So first of all, let me write it that what is dental plaque also. So then if the teeth is not cleaned regularly, they become covered with a sticky yellowish layer of food. With the sticky yellowish layer of food particles and bacteria cell is called dental plaque. That is called as dental plaque. That is called as the dental plaque. And how we can remove it? By doing brush regularly. Okay, so this is called as the dental caries, students. So this is all about that of the dental caries, that how the dental caries happen, how the acid is formed, and how it causes the sensitivity as well as the cavity in our teeth, and what is the thing that we should do which will help in preventing the dental plaque or dental caries, students. In the next class, we will start with the respiration in human beings.